Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond Profit, a global perspective. I'm Mark Harvey. A lot of people have asked me about what is my teaching philosophy. I've got clearly a lot of videos out there in which I am demonstrating teaching, showing some stuff I'm doing in a classroom or just explaining things. Is there an overarching philosophy that I take to the classroom as far as when I work with students? And so I thought I would satisfy that request and maybe share with you a little bit of what I tell my students and what I think is really important to me in terms of the process of education. So let's get into it. As usual, if you're getting a lot out of these videos, please like, share, subscribe, and just let people know about the good stuff that we're talking about here on this channel. In addition, if you're interested in coming and studying with me at the University of St. Mary, reach out. Let's make it so that we can create a great educational experience for you through a university. I want to now talk a little bit about my teaching philosophy, and that's the question of how are we going to get there? How are we going to achieve this? And one is just to sort of start off with a philosophy, but then there's also sort of an approach. So just like any business, I've got it broken out down to vision, mission, values, and so on. So the vision is that I want you to be in touch with your gifts and your passions and learn how to use them to serve other people. My kids ask me, Daddy, what's the meaning of life? They always ask me hard questions, kind of throw me off and mess with me, right? And this is my meaning of life. This is how I answer that question, is that I want you to figure out who you are, what you're good at, and then use those things to serve other people. I think if you have done that, then you have served your purpose here on earth. You've got there. That's it. Now, I know a lot of you, at whatever age you're at, you know a lot of things you're good at, and that's cool. Like, you are on your way. But sometimes maybe you haven't figured out everything you're good at, because we're all learning and growing still. And maybe it takes a little while to sort of figure out, like, okay, so I know I'm good at this, but how can I actually use it, right? So I can't promise an answer in this class, but I hope that I'm going to get you closer to that. That's my vision for any class that I'm teaching, is to try to get you closer to that. The mission. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is from Romans 12. It's a Bible verse. Hey, we're at the Catholic school, so I guess I can get away with that. And I think it's great. This idea that, you've got this world out there that's sort of like pressuring you to do certain things. And sometimes you have to do things to sort of like stand out and be different and transform yourself, right? And it's through the renewing of your mind that this happens. And so transformation is a huge theme in all of my courses. Like, if you come into one of my classes and you are the same person by the time you're done, then I have failed my task. Okay? I want you to think differently. I want you to feel differently. I want you to experience something by the time we're done. And that's the mission. That's what I really want to do. Values, to communicate love, respect, and enthusiasm for my students and my subject. So I already love you guys, so it's all good. Oh my goodness, it's so weird. It's all right. Yes, I know I'm weird, and that's okay. But the kind of love I'm talking about is that I'm here to serve you. I'm here to put you first. That's my job here as a teacher, and I'm going to try my best to do that. I will respect you. But the other thing is that whenever I go into a class, I assume that anybody who comes in my class doesn't really care to be here, or they just think the subject matter is boring or whatever, which puts me in a position where I have to sell what I'm doing, right? I have to give you the enthusiasm, and I have to make it so that you care about this, right? And if I don't do that, then I'm also failing in my task. That's an extremely difficult task, as you know, because like you guys are like busy doing your stuff all day, you're like tired. I know you want to be here. I think you want to be here, right? You think you want to. So you're here, and then what are we going to do so that you aren't falling asleep, so that you're getting as much as you can out of this? Because, we're going the distance and we're going to do this thing. And look, I've been teaching courses like this since 1996. That's a long, long time. And this is a hard gig. This is like doing stand-up. It's crazy. How do you keep students excited? So my goal is to try to make that happen for you, right? right? I mean, I am going to try to give you that kind of enthusiasm so that you care about being here, so that you want to be here, okay? Now, this goes both ways, right? I will give you my attention and my enthusiasm and my 100%, but I also need that from you. Because if it's me running my mouth the whole time, then it's going to suck. It's going to suck for you. It's definitely going to suck for me. I don't have like half of this class planned for me just to run my mouth, right? Although I'm running a lot right now, right? We're just getting started. But I'm going to need to hear from all of you, and that's going to be really important to move forward. All right, another thing. We're going to get intimate. Woo! Did I say intimate? Not that kind of intimate. What I want from you in this class is to show up, bring all of yourself, physical self obviously, but your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, your beliefs, right? I want you to feel comfortable or try to feel comfortable sharing things. I want you to pay attention. Be aware of what's happening inside of you, right? When we are talking about stuff, think about where you are, right? How do you feel in response to things I say, what other people say? What happens to you, and kind of be aware of that. I want you to tell the truth, right? You don't have to tell me everything that's in your brain, right? But I do want you to be honest about whatever it is you are thinking, whatever it is you're feeling. If there's something you don't understand, tell me you don't understand it. If there's something you disagree with, then tell me you disagree with it, right? Argue with me. It is cool to do that. This is an academic process, right? And be curious about your judgments, right? Why am I thinking certain things? Why do I believe certain things? And I want you to deconstruct that, right? Think a little bit about why you believe what you believe. And we're going to talk more about that in just a little while. Most importantly, we need to make sure that we have a positive environment for learning, that this is a place where people feel like they can question each other and challenge each other and question and challenge me as well. But the way that we get there, though, is by being positive, by reinforcing people for good answers, for positive contributions, to make people feel like, it's okay to take a risk in an environment. That, yeah, sure, there are letter grades, but this is a place where you can feel safe to fail, at least when it comes to the discussion part of what we're doing. So, educational philosophy. I am interested in creating experiences that will change your life, not give you facts, okay? You will get facts, right? You will learn stuff. But any class that I have, that's true of leadership, that's true of global management. It's like, I'm not seeing this as me lecturing and you listening. I'm seeing this as you are here and we are going to move you here and we got to figure out how to get you there. Look, I believe the students learn better when they're fully engaged. That means that we're going to have games, we're going to have simulations, we're going to have team building activities, right? We may have Socratic discussions where I'm asking you a lot of questions that may seem obvious or they may seem stupid or they may seem like, whoa, that's beyond what I even thought of before. But I'm going to keep asking questions and pushing and challenging until the student gets to the point where they understand, and everybody in the class has sort of been taken on this journey and we all sort of come to some common understanding together. I think that debates also can be really effective. If we incorporate the sense of what is right and what is wrong in our discussion, that also tends to stimulate students. Taking a notion that people sort of have pre-constructed in their mind or something that just they take for granted and deconstructing that, I think also is a really effective way to try to get people excited about discussion and sort of, blow their mind a little bit if I can. I might pull out a guitar at any given moment because sometimes people learn analytically, sometimes people learn emotionally. And so there's times where I may tell some stories in order to create an emotion, in order to connect concepts to feelings. And so this is going to be probably the weirdest class you've ever taken. Almost any class you take from me, you've had one of these things before. It's probably going to be the weirdest class you've ever taken. I think you're the only one maybe who's been in a class with me before here, right? Am I right? Yeah.
But fun weird.
Fun weird?
Yeah.
It's good. As an instructor, there are some things some that are really important. First of all, I see myself as a coach. That is, I know that you don't have your whole act together 100%. Maybe you need to improve in your writing in some ways, or your speaking, or critical thinking, or whatever those are. I'm interested in critical skills. I want you to become better writers, better speakers. But I want you to learn stuff that's going to be valuable to you when you go and seek your fortune, when you go get your job, right? And so that means sometimes that, like, if you're working on something and you need some help, then you need to come to me and ask for help, right? I mean, I don't like playing gotcha grading where, like, you get a grade and you're really shocked by whatever grade you got. Like, I'd much rather have you, if you think you're having trouble, send me what you're working on and let me go through it and let me hand it back to you, and then you can turn it in, right? I mean, you're going to learn better if you get some coaching from me as opposed to if you just drop something in a slot and hope for whatever. Most of you guys are great students anyway. I'm sure you're going to be fine no matter what. But, if you're concerned, then please talk to me, because I'm not here to judge you. I am here to coach you. And then there's the book. Okay, so we're going to be using the book for various things in this class. It kind of gives you a play-by-play. We can't cover everything that exists in that book. Like, there's just no way in the amount of time we have, and I'm not even going to try. So there's going to be some of it we're going to borrow, we're going to use. We may not be going through it exactly in the order in which you read it all the time, but it's a reference point for me. I'm here to sort of give you color, right? If you got the sports announcers and you got one guy is like, hey, he's on the 9-yard line, he's doing the play-by-play, right? That's your book. I'm doing the color. And that's what I see this class as being. That's that side of it. One more thing I'll say about transformation is that transformation doesn't happen without challenge, okay? You're going to be challenged in this class. Again, it's a weird class. But, I'm not going to lie to you. Hopefully you've had some challenges up to this point before, because we get better when we are challenged, when things are difficult. And I don't want to make things impossible. I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm just saying that, like, you just have to accept the fact that this is the zone that we're in. For this narrow time in your life, you're trying to improve yourself. You're trying to get better. And that is how we get better. And so I love you guys. I'll support you. I will coach you, right? But I also cannot promise that everything in this class is going to be easy for you. And some of it may be the assignments, but I think it might be just more likely what we're talking about in class, because sometimes we talk about stuff that's controversial, we have different points of view, and we learn from each other sometimes, and it's that process that sort of, it transforms us. I think it makes us better. So that's where we're going here.
So what are the main points? First of all, I'm extremely interested in transformation. I want students who come into my class to come out a different and better version of themselves by the time they're done. Second, it's important that I care for my students, that I respect them, that I put them first, that I am serving them. And part of that involves my desire to want to make this subject matter come alive, to make students not just passively interested, but like really hopefully passionate about the stuff that we're talking about here in this class. And finally, I will say that I'm hoping that through this process, I'm going to get students to get in touch with their own gifts, to learn more about themselves so that they can become better servant leaders to others. So that's it. For Beyond Profit, a Global Perspective, I will see you next time.